Just around the corner I met Brad Pettitt, a politician, former mayor of Fremantle, and an academic with a background in environmental science and a PhD in sustainable development.
Perth, in many ways, had the unfortunate luck of having most of its development occur after World War II. And what we saw globally after World War II was people turning away from public transport and cycling towards using the car to get around. There was a real sense of freedom with the car, but what we quickly realised is that car use doesn't lead to freedom, it leads to dependency on the car to get around. But that car-based transport planning and land use planning has really meant that we've seen that huge sprawl. We know that this kind of suburban development is really expensive. In fact, it's been estimated that every new house that goes on the urban fringe will cost West Australians $75,000, probably more, in extra infrastructure compared to a house that had gone in with the existing urban footprint. Yeah, there's a bit of a myth out there that people in Perth just won't live in apartments or won't live in higher density dwellings, but we're not giving them that choice. And I actually expect that there's many people who, if they were given a choice of a well-designed, sustainable and affordable apartment near a train station in downtown Freo or Midland, they would take that versus living in just north of Two Rocks or south of Mandurah, which is the choices that they currently got.
And how does strata come into play here? Because a lot of people, they just don't want to keep paying strata. They just want to buy a house and then...
Yeah, look, and I think I totally get that. And I think there is, strata is just basically around shared costs over shared property. And unfortunately, a lot of the density that we are building is really expensive apartments that have pools and gyms and lifts that have expensive strata fees. This is actually the point I'm saying again, is we need to give people a choice where they have good gentle density, stuff that we will look at in Whitecomb Valley that doesn't have strata fees, because we can do that, or have very minimal strata fees, which is merely up to maintaining a driveway. Certainly, there is a sense that many of these houses that are built very cheap. In fact, we are very good at building cheap single houses on the fringe, at a rate of around about $1,000 a square metre, which is very, very cheap, but they're not built to last. And this is actually a big part of the problem, where we see this. A lot of these, in 20 years, will be literally designed to be knocked over and built again. I honestly think what we've got to in this sense of Perth is that's all there is no choice there is nothing else available. So we have, frankly, the Dale Alcocks and other Saturdays of the world saying you must buy a 4x2 because that's the only thing you'll be able to sell, and that's the thing that will retain its value. So all we build is houses that are 4-bedroom and 2-bathroom or bigger, some of the biggest houses in the world. Even though we know that most households are shrinking. The average household size is now down to 2.5 people now, and getting smaller. But we keep building these giant houses with people with smaller families rattling around in them. I think for me, this is where there's a really important role for government here, to actually give the choices and let people imagine and see and touch a range of better options and to choose those. At the moment, frankly, there isn't many options on the table, and I totally get why people are buying out on the urban fringe, because in many ways that's all that's presented to them as an option for housing.